We're going to make the small ruler here by using 2D Design, and we're going to make sure first of all that grid lock is on, and then we'll go over here to the left hand toolbox where we've got the shapes feature, select shapes, and then as you come over from the dots here, dot to dot, the cursor snaps, and that's what the difference is with having grid lock on compared to not having grid lock on. It doesn't snap. Go back to grid lock. Okay, so what we need is a rectangle which is 170 by 30, and in order to achieve that, the most efficient way is to do a left click of your mouse. But as you can see, if you scroll your mouse around, you have a different shape, whether that's a rectangle or a square. And if you go up here to where it says ABS, click on ABS until it says REL, R-E-L, click in the box next to REL and type 170. Press the tab button, type 30, and then press OK. As you can see, that creates a rectangle, and the measurements for this are 170 by 30. The next thing we're going to do is to zoom in by clicking the magnifying glass over here with the plus sign. Just click that probably 4 or 5 times, then move your slider bar so you've got your rectangle perfectly centralized. We want to round off this right hand side next, so we're going to go to this left hand toolbox, scroll down to the second row, hold your left mouse button down and scroll all the way across here till you can find draw a filleted arc between two lines. Select this feature now. Ensure the radius says 15 millimeters. Click OK. Click on the two adjacent sides and these two adjacent sides, and now you're left with a radius of 15 millimeters, giving a perfect curved end at one end of the ruler. Over here on the left side, we're going to work on this left part now. So we're going to zoom in a bit more. Move your slider bar so that you can see the top and the bottom horizontal lines. That will make things a lot easier to work on for the next stage of the construction. So if you look here, scroll down on the left hand toolbox again until it says contour, left mouse down, scroll across until you can see draw a contour parallel to a line. Click on that. Change the contour spacing to 1. Change the max number of contours to 10. Click OK. And then click on the right hand side of this vertical line. It's important to click on the right side, because if you click on the left side, you get all these lines on the left and you don't want those there, so press undo last. Click on contour again, check that your numbers are still there, the numbers are still correct. OK. This time click on the right hand side and you've got an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vertical lines, all parallel to this end line. So once we've got these 10 lines here in place, go back to contour, double click, change where it says 1, change that to 2, change 10 to 1, click OK, and then just click below that top horizontal line, click above the bottom horizontal line, and then we're going to go to the feature over here which is the delete tool. Hold delete any down with the left mouse, scroll across till you can find delete part of an object, click on that, and then come into the ruler. I want you to click on that number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, leave number 5, number 6, 7, 8 and 9. So you're going to remove those 8 lines that we've just done. Go back over here to the delete feature, click on delete any, and then you can delete that horizontal line there and this horizontal line here, the ones that you've just added. Taking those away, the reason they were there in the first place was so that you could delete the difference of the line that we didn't need, because these little short lines here are going to be your markings for the 1mm reference point on the ruler. We're going to mark out the 5mm reference point now. So if we click on contour again and change that to 3, leave this at 1, click just below and just above the outside horizontal lines, and then go to the delete tool to select delete part of an object. You're just going to delete this one line here, go back to delete, select delete any, and again remove the 2 horizontal lines that are parallel to the outside of the ruler. Go to contour again, change 3 this time to 4, leave the contours, number of contours as 1, click OK, click below, click above, go to delete part of an object, then just delete that last line. Now go back to delete any and remove your horizontal lines that they were just there as a guideline, as like a construction line really, so you knew how long that the 10mm guidelines needed to be. So we've done that. Now we're going to add some measurements on there, and in order to do that I've just clicked ABC, because that's how you do your text. So ABC is selected, and as you can see I'm still jumping from dot to dot, which is not ideal now because I need the 10mm number to be off of the dot. So I'm going to deselect gridlock, and then I'm going to type 10, go to settings whilst it's there, click on TextSoft font, and then choose your font style. I'm going to choose house, and I'm also going to change the height to 3.5mm. Press OK, press OK again, and then it gives you your measurement, your number. So we just want to make sure you can move this around just by clicking that central yellow square there. You can just move it around. You've got to make sure that the 10 is below the end of this line, and make sure it's central as well, positioned centrally in between the lines. The next thing you'll do is you're going to highlight this whole section that you've just done. So you're going to highlight all these markings, you number these markings like this, highlight or select them all, go back to gridlock. It's important that you get gridlock back on here now. Go back to gridlock, press copy, move this up, highlight both sections now, press copy, move it up, highlight all 4 sections, copy, move up. Now there is another way of doing this, and it's to use the transform feature. We're just going to do it this way today to keep things a bit more simple and straightforward. Now once you get to here, we're just going to highlight 3 sections like this. So you've got now, I'll just zoom out a little bit, you have now 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150 millimeters, giving you a 15cm ruler. We're going to change, so if you select one of these numbers now, so select number 10, go to property, and then just change that now to a 2, and then the next one, same again, change that to a 3, okay, next one, change that to a 4, and so on and so forth. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so I've changed all the numbers now, and one little amendment that we need to make here is I want to highlight all the numbers from 100 down to 150, and I just want to move, I'm going to select this central square again, I'm just going to move that whole selection, just take it off gridlock, move the whole selection over by about 3 millimeters. just so it looks a bit more centralised, so each number looks a bit more centralised below the 10mm marking. Okay, so it should just look like this now. Next thing we'll do is select all the numbers, copy those, and then drag that copied selection down to the bottom of the ruler like this, so that you have the numbers on both sides of the ruler. To personalise the ruler now, what we're going to do is we're going to add our name on here. So you'll write your name, names engineering ruler, like so. You can change the font again. I'm going to select the freehand font, and select on the cursor. You can obviously change the size of this font to whichever suits you the most. We want to have a little hole at the end here, just so that you can hang the ruler up at any point. So we're going to double click on the circle tool here, and we're going to type 5 for the radius, start angle 0, and that will give us a 10mm diameter circle there. So it's always handy to have the 10mm diameter circle to help you with any corners or reference point for any other drawing activity that you might be going through, or you can always use it as like a drill bit guide as well, for 10mm drill bit. Right, so one last thing we need to do is change all the colouring. So what we have to do now is, if we left click up here, drag a box over all of your markings and your text, just the markings and the text, come out of the selection with your cursor, right click with your mouse, scroll down to group, and what we've done now is we've grouped all of this together. So if I click on any of it, any of the markings or any of the text or any of the numbers or anything like that, all of it selects. So that is all going to be coloured red. So if you go up to the top where it says line, next to line it says colour. I want you to select the red box there, click OK. Now you will see that all these markings, the numbers, the text is all red, all the same red, and that will be easily recognised now by the laser cutter to know that the laser should just engrave these markings and the text. The next thing we'll do is highlight all of it, highlight the complete ruler, all of your working that you've just done, and you will again select the right mouse click. That will deselect. So if you've just deselected now all your red engraving work, so you're just left with all the remaining lines, which are all the cut lines. We're going to group all the cut lines together now, and then we're going to change all of the cut lines to blue. Okay, right, now we have a finished ruler. If you want to make any changes whatsoever, you would need to click, you'd need to right click, you'd need to ungroup, and then you're able to change any of the areas that you wanted. So the next thing to do is to send this file to the laser cutter. Select your material, whether that's going to be acrylic, plywood, MDF. We will place the material into the laser cutter and do a little small test run first of all to make sure we've got the right settings, and then just fire away with cutting out your ruler. So that's it. Thank you very much and good luck.